This is Maddie. What's up?
Yeah.
Good morning, YouTube, and happy Sunday. If you're watching this, it is Sunday, most likely where you're at, unless you're in a different time zone. Welcome to my channel, or if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back to my channel. My name is Maddie Michelson. I am an IFBB Bikini Pro. I am the head coach at Team MPowered Fitness, and we are a functional lifestyle and contest prep team. Our mantra is that we meet you where your functional goals meet your physical goals, or where function meets physique. So without further ado, this week is all about what I have done to regain a hormonal cycle and just bring back regular cycles, if you will. So cycles every single month that are predictable. So I'm going to kind of walk you through that. Today is a rest day for me. So I'll have plenty of, not necessarily time. Today is usually a really busy day for me, but plenty of things to share as I go about this day. A lot of what I'm going to share with you is and lends itself towards resting, towards pulling back. All right. So get ready for that. I know when most girls or some girls go through contest preps, usually they lose their cycle. Now, I have struggled with an eating disorder in my past, healed from that. Then I got overweight, struggled with issues with my insulin sensitivity, and then I went through a 2.5-year prep. So my body has been through it. It's been really challenging for me to maintain and get back a really healthy, regular cycle. So if you're one of those challenging cases, we are the team for you. We are the practitioners that see cases like yours. But hopefully this video is insightful and fun for you. So before I actually get started on the hormone content, a lot of you guys have been asking me how I make my Ninja Creamies. And as of lately, I have been using, let me find it here, the New Zest Clean Lean Protein. This is the vanilla flavor. It's super, super good. And I love the ingredients that are in it. It's got 9 EAAs in it. It's a complete protein and it's plant-based. 100 calories, 2 fat, 20 protein, 1 carb. It is a pea protein isolate, and then it's also got thumatin, and thumatin is actually a fruit sugar, and it's like super, super, super sweet. So I love the vanilla flavor. The pea protein is interesting because a lot of girls will have problems digesting pea protein, but they actually remove the what's enrobed, I guess, in the, or on the pea, whatever. And when they take that off, long story short, it digests easier. So maybe if you have digestive issues with vegan proteins, that one might work for you. You guys can use my code. I believe the code for New Zest is MPowered, but I will check up on that and leave it down below in the description box so you guys can get a discount. Excuse my nail. I need to go get that fixed. I'm so mad. These are like new. Why did that happen? But I use 3 droplets of stevia. Droplets meaning full droppers. And then a teaspoon of organic, alcohol-free vanilla extract. The alcohol-free does make a difference. And then I use milk, M-A-L-K, milk. So first thing that I do in the morning is I eat a little bit of fruit. This morning, because I did just decide to crack open my camera and start filming. As you can see, I've already done some stuff. I'm sorry. This morning I had a few blueberries. I go through blueberries like nobody's business. So I already had a little bowl of those, and I'm just going to make myself my little concoction, which consists of the Trader Joe's organic cold pressed juice. And then I use apple cider vinegar. You're going to be like, that looks disgusting. Bear with me. Bear with me. I put a teeny bit of Tropicana Zero just for some flavor. Uh-oh. She's making a mess. Then, aloe juice. I love aloe vera juice. It's really, really, wow, that was very catastrophic. It's very good for your gut. And what else do we put in there? Then I'm going to put my favorite, Designs for Health, IgGI Shield, and GI Revive. Really good for intestinal permeability. I had struggled with some leaky gut stuff. My secretory IgA was tanked, so that is why I take that. If you're new here and you're not familiar with what secretory IgA is, that is your army in your gut. So this really helps restore and rebuild that gut lining. Ironically, your gut lining is kind of the last thing that comes back. So when you're going through a gut protocol, you may be able to kill off bacteria really easily, but to actually safeguard yourself from having a reemergence of bad gut bacteria, you have to really work gut lining for a long time. A lot of times I'll keep that support in for 16 to 20 weeks after the gut protocol. But I'm gonna make this and then I'm going to frolic outside and I'm going to go get about 30 to 45 minutes of walking in. I might walk down to the pier, but it's a sunny day here in St. Petersburg, Florida. So I'm gonna go get some vitamin D and do my walking meditation.
So YouTube, I just finished up with my outdoor walk and now we're gonna do some stretching because it's rest day. I might do a little bit of core, but just easy stuff here in our little apartment gym room.
All right, so I just finished a little bit of core work and some stretching and foam rolling. If you are not using your rest days for things like recovery, you're doing it wrong. I know that technically training abs is not recovery, but foam rolling, stretching, yoga, long walks, these are all forms of recovery. I'm actually gonna make an appointment for body work, I think tomorrow morning at a new place. But a lot of what regaining a normal cycle comes down to, I mean, there's a lot of intricacies, right? But a lot of it comes down to priming your day, lowering your stress levels, doing a lot of nervous system, central nervous system work. So, a couple things that I guess I didn't technically show you. Please hold. I love when it sings to me. Some of the things that I didn't technically show you are that I don't turn on my phone as soon as I start my day. My phone stays out here in the kitchen, plugged in the corner over there, and I do not touch it until I am up and I have done my deep breathing and I've done my morning priming. If you guys are not familiar with morning priming, go ahead and do yourself a favor and look it up. It is led by Tony Robbins and it's absolutely fantastic. I love morning priming. I think Andrew Huberman has even talked about it. Not that I'm like a huge Tony Robbins or Huberman fan, but there's a lot of science that goes into morning priming and how it activates your nervous system. On some days, I'll do cold water therapy in the morning. Like this morning I didn't, my hair was already clean and stuff, but if it's dirty and I don't really care, I will hop in the shower and do cold all over my body for about 3 to 5 minutes. If I don't do it in the morning, I always do it in the evening after my shower. It's great for your nervous system. And then, like I said, no phones. So I start off my day with sunshine. I go outside. If you can't get a walk in, that's fine. Go on your balcony, go outdoors, emit your body, get sunlight on your body. It's great for your neurotransmitters, your mental health, and your body. And then from there, step number 2 is no caffeine. You can see I'm still drinking my little morning concoction. I probably won't have caffeine until 10:30 or 11. getting in enough calories. So I'm gonna go ahead and make breakfast. My breakfast is a whole egg, organic, pasture raised, cage free, and egg whites, feta cheese, spinach. I love spinach because it's rich in iron. It's also got some fiber in it, and it's greens, right? Anti-inflammatory. I'll cook that in olive oil. I've stopped using coconut oil as much, and I use more olive oils now. And then I'm gonna make 2 pieces of seeded bread. Seeded breads have fiber. They also have, like seeds in general are really, really good. You can cycle seeds. I did a lot of seed cycling when I was getting my cycle back. I would cycle different seeds according to the moon. And I put some cottage cheese and some jam on my toast and call it a morning. Okay, so while my decaf coffee is getting ready, I wanted to share with you guys, this is the final product, if you will. I've got a little omelet here with a whole egg and some salsa on top. Now, I cooked my omelet in a pretty generous amount of this Trader Joe's 100% Italian organic extra virgin olive oil. And, you know, for someone who grew up in a family that didn't use a ton of oils, it was tough for me at first. But, you know, that's a really easy way for me to get my fats in. When your fats are sitting at 65, 70 grams a day, it's really tough to kind of get that fat in if you don't do a ton of almond butters and things like that. And I like to get my protein from animal-based sources. So I do have a healthy balance of fats in this meal. This has a whole egg in it, plus it's also cooked in olive oil. And then I have not fat-free cottage cheese on these two, so there's a little bit of fat in there. But this is 3 pieces of toast, you know? I mean, for a lot of women, they struggle to get food in the morning. And that is roughly a 450, 475 calorie breakfast right there. You can see it's not a huge amount of food. So sometimes you have to, you know, work with a coach and kind of get creative about ways to get in more calories if you struggle with that for a lesser volume of food. And that's a great example of it. It's a pretty small meal. 3 pieces of toast I can kind of munch on pretty easily over this like big bowl of oatmeal. Additionally, there are some supplements that I would suggest taking. I personally, and you do want to be under the supervision of a medical practitioner or of a functional, board certified functional practitioner. I am one of them. So if you guys need help with this, please consult me. Even if you don't work with me one-on-one as an athlete on my roster, I do supplement consults. It's for a small fee, but you can click on my Calendly link below and book that. I have been taking collagen. This is Metapure, but I've been doing Metapure. I've also been doing collagen. Where is my collagen at? I think I used it. I have been taking collagen. This is let me get it in the frame, the New Youth collagen from New Ethics. And you guys can use code MPowered if you guys were interested in getting some collagen. I've been trying to regrow my hair. When you have a hormonal imbalance too, your hair can sometimes take a long time to grow back. A lot of times if you have like an eating disorder or sometimes you go through a prep, your hair will fall out after the prep. So I've been taking collagen. I've also been taking Viviscal. If you guys want a link for that with a discount, let me know. I think I have one. And then I've also been doing this, which I could share with you all because it's been a benefit to me. And that is the Absolute Grow Scalp Serum. And this contains the GHKCU stem cells. So I do that on my hair really in the morning because it does contain some caffeine and I think it keeps me awake, no joke. And then additionally for hormones, I was taking evening primrose oil and 2 drops of an oral progesterone. It's not actually oral, but I give it to my girls orally. You can, it's safe. It's not compounded. It's not like a birth control or anything like that. But I was doing those 2 things. And then I also was taking New Balance Plus. I'm still taking that as well as Chaseberry. But As always, I will say this again and again and again until I'm blue in the face. Do not take any of these things unless you are consulting with a practitioner and they have told you to. You can really mess your hormones up if you don't really know what's going on. Mind you, while all this was happening to me and I was trying to balance everything out, I was getting labs drawn like every 6 to 8 weeks. Okay, so I just got my nail fix. I'm so happy they actually created like the grow out line on my nail so it looks like the other ones. Thank freaking goodness. So now we're headed home, but I have already made my lunch. I made my lunch during my previous call with my practitioner, where I actually was reviewing my lab work, and my FSH and LH was in a good spot. Yay! Oh, I'm so happy to be healthy, you guys. Feels freaking good. So yeah, she was like, don't need to be taking, you know, any sort of additional supplements right now. We're just going to kind of stay the course. I want you to keep having your untracked meals because I think for us, the key is really getting in enough food. A lot of practitioners and even myself will encourage, you know, the sweet spot tends to be upwards of 2,500 calories. And on average, on any given day, I'm consuming around 2,000. But then with my untracked meals, I've been having 1 or 2 of those per week. Lately, it's been 2. It really gets me up to at least that 2,500 calorie mark. But I'm really trying to push the needle here over the next 8 weeks and trying to get in more than 2,000 calories on a given day. So more in the ballpark of like 2,200 calories. But yeah, just got my nail fix, going home to eat lunch now, and I'll show you guys what that meal is. Big priority for me has been micronutrient density. I love having colors in my meals, but today I don't have a ton of color because my peppers I ran out of. So I had to use green pepper, and I already had green beans in there. So I've got a nice little rice nourish bowl at home waiting for me, and I'll show you guys that as soon as I get back. All right, so we are just getting home. It is about 12:45. I am like minute to minute today. Oh, it smells so good. And lunch is already done. So let's go ahead and get that out and I'll show you guys what I'm having. So here, bing bong, it looks huge. It's really not that big. I've got some lettuce. I've got the sous vide. I got the turkey or the chicken thighs this time instead of the turkey tenderloins. So I've got the sous vide chicken thighs from Trader Joe's. I've got some green beans, bell pepper, onion, mushroom, and then I also have some rice. It's in the bottom though. I was gonna heat that up, but maybe I won't heat it up now because there's lettuce already on it. Dang. And then I also have thrown on top of it, for sauces, I used cottage cheese. And then I've used this chunky guacamole with Greek yogurt. So that's on there as well. And then some of the Trader Joe's sweet chili sauce. That's a good one if you like a little bit of sweetness, a little sweet, a little spicy. But yeah, that's another like 400 or 500 calorie meal. Typically by lunchtime, I am ravenous. I'm not super hungry today because it's a rest day, but I'm gonna get this in because I won't have a chance to eat for quite some time because I've got back-to-back calls. So you'll see the key here is still a fattier source of meat. As you guys know, I talked about this earlier. I don't use a lot of like oils and fats and things like that. So I've got a nice high fiber meal. There's actually 12 grams of fiber in this meal. I've got some healthy carbohydrates coming from the rice on the bottom of the bowl. I've got the fatty, the turkey chicken thighs, the sous vide chicken thighs. They're incredible. They're so good. And I have some guac, well, Greek yogurt guac in there. All right, YouTube fam. So I'm not endorsing 2 creamies in a day, but it is one of those days, okay? It is 3:17. I gotta eat something else because I've only had lunch, my morning snack, and breakfast, which is probably normal for a lot of people, but I'm trying to get my calories up, okay? So I just threw some of this Big Spoon Roasters. It's delicious. And all that it has is Mission almonds, organic cashews, organic maple syrup, organic coconut nectar, vanilla, and Jacobson sea salt. This is the vanilla caramel flavor. It is so good. This is an almond and cashew butter, but I just threw some of that in there for some healthy fats. And then I have my Truvani protein in this bad boy with some milk. So I'm gonna eat this up and get back to work, and I'll talk to you guys soon. But one of the reasons why you might be asking yourself, like, well, why don't you just eat a bigger dinner? Well, I do, okay? But no, keeping your blood sugar stabilized is crucial when you're trying, to get your hormones to balance back out. So what I mean by that is I work really, really hard to balance my meals with healthy fiber, protein, carbs, and dietary fat. In this case, it's kind of a snack. So I've got some protein and I've got some fats from the milk and fats from the almond butter. But I put a whole 2 tablespoons in here, folks. So this is like another 400 calorie snack for myself. And it's really, really important that you're keeping blood sugar levels stabilized, because that keeps your cortisol stable, which then in turns greatly impacts your hormones. So that's why we care about that. I do encourage a lot of our athletes to do glucose testing. And the way that you can test your glucose is you'll wake up in the morning. If you guys want a recommendation for a glucose monitor, I have a really good recommendation on one that's super accurate. But you will wake up in the morning, drink 12 to 16 ounces of water, check your glucose fasted. And then I do this for 3 to 5 days every single month consistently. For the next 3 days, I'll take it fasted, and I'll also take it 2 hours postprandial. So this means 2 hours after you've eaten a meal, and you eat the same meal. So if every morning you have oatmeal and blackberries and eggs and egg whites and feta cheese, you're going to check it 2 hours after that same breakfast for 3 to 5 days. And the objective is that your fasting blood glucose numbers, you want around in the ballpark of 80. And then you want your 2 hours postprandial blood glucose to also be back down to 80, those same fasted blood glucose levels. And this will tell you if you've got an issue with insulin sensitivity or not. But it's key that you're checking it after the same type of meal, like a high carb meal, 2 hours after that, all right? All right, I am back. And because this is kind of turned into a full day of eating, I'm having an apple, which has some good fiber in it, and some blueberries. And I'm drinking a Trader Joe's seltzer. This is the cranberry with lime. It's so good. But I've still got 3 more calls to go. We're doing great. You've got this, sweetie. YouTube, I'm out here in these freaking streets. Look at the weather. Look at the sky. I think that I'm about to get blown over, and this is risky biz because I have a call in approximately 5 minutes, but I needed bell peppers. All right, guys, so it is evening time now, and it is doomy and gloomy outside. I think that I'm gonna go for just a little walk to kind of like recenter my thoughts, calm myself down. I have been go and back to back literally all day today. I'm so grateful. So we're gonna go for a little sunset walk, if you will, on the theme of, getting a cycle back. I want to talk on just for a second about stress. I am one of those people that oh my gosh, if you saw my planner, you would be like, how are you not stressed out? I'm really good at managing it. And if you're struggling to get your cycle back, you're probably really good at managing it too. So it's really, really important to just try to cultivate some sense of normalcy in your life. For me, one of the things that was really difficult that I had to almost force myself to do, and now I don't know a life without it, was stopping work in the evening when work is supposed to stop. So like 6 p.m., 7 p.m., work stops. And for the rest of the night, work is not touched, unless of course I have like an athlete competing or an emergency or something like that. But aside from that, I am like winding down, doing Maddie things. I watch a little bit of TV sometimes. A lot of times I'll read a book. Like I like self-help books, so I've been getting into those lately. Sometimes I'll just listen to a podcast, honestly, and just sit there in silence. It feels really good. But if you're having a lot of problems with managing your stress, that's something to get a wrap on. So in the evenings, having like a consistent routine that you do, whether it's taking a warm bath. At our apartment complex, we've got a sauna, so sometimes I'll go sit in that. I know that I'm saying sometimes, but consistency is really the key there. So having a consistent bedtime routine and evening routine, circadian rhythm plays a huge role in your stress levels, in the way that your body responds to stress and feels stress and internalizes stress. And the other thing is just setting healthy boundaries, learning how to manage your stress better, as opposed to like leveraging a ton of coping mechanisms to get through your stress, right? Like I cut caffeine off at 1 or 2 p.m. in the afternoon, if you can believe that. And I just rely on food, oh my gosh, for the rest of the day. And sure, at like 4, I start to tank, right? I start to feel like, oh, I'm tired. Well, that's normal. That's normal. I also don't do any sort of like heart-throbbing cardio anymore. I know there's a lot of you guys out there that are cardio bunnies and it feels really, really good to go for a run. But if you're trying to get a cycle back, girl, you got to just walk. You got to stick to the list stuff. And honestly, I've approached it through the lens of not just this is healthy and this is what's necessary to get a cycle back, but like maybe this can be fun. What else can I do while I do my list cardio? I respond to emails, I listen to podcasts, I message you guys on Instagram. There's a lot of good that can come for it, but you have to see it that way. So I'm gonna go for a little walk now, get a few steps in. My step goal right now, I'm aiming for 8,000 to 9,000 a day, no longer reaching for like 12, 15,000. You gotta bring your activity levels down and you can't just raise them again as soon as you get a cycle back. So we're staying steady Eddie with our list cardio, our managed stress levels, our nighttime boundaries, and our walks. And I'll talk to you guys soon. All right, YouTube, so it is evening time and I just chopped up some onion and pepper. It was totally worth it, risking my life in the hurricane that was outside for some colorful peppers. I like the sweet ones. And then I'm making myself some wild caught cod. I'm about to throw it into the oven. I just did a little meditation. That's why I'm like, yeah, I love wild caught fish. And that's another tip if you're looking at getting a cycle back. A lot of getting a cycle back has to do with stress management, as we have discussed, eating enough, not overtraining, taking the right quality supplements, not just some bullshit that someone's told you to take. And most importantly, well, not most importantly, I don't know why I said that, but lowering inflammation. Right? So if your body is chronically inflamed, hormones are messengers. And this applies to women all over, honestly, not just women that are trying to get a cycle back, but your hormones must be received by the cell. And if there's chronic inflammation that exists in your body, whether that's gastrointestinal inflammation, inflammation from overtraining, inflammation, on a cellular, it exists on the cellular level is what I'm getting at. So those messengers, which are hormones, cannot get into the cell. Thus, you've got a hormonal imbalance. So I like to keep my diet primarily anti-inflammatory. I had a question last week on why I don't like skinny syrups and stuff like that with artificial sweeteners. I mean, you'll see. I've got, tonight I'm going to put a Nutter butter in my creamy. But for the most part, I mean, my diet is, I would say 95% whole foods. I don't use any sorts of G. Hughes sauce anymore. I don't use, all that stuff in moderation is fine, but I just find that there doesn't really exist, moderation doesn't exist when you start going down the rabbit hole of artificials. energy drinks, things like that. These are all inflammatory. So wild caught fish is one of the best things that you can eat in terms of an anti-inflammatory food. I'm going to drizzle some olive oil on the wild caught fish, and then I'm also going to cook my bell peppers, onions, and my mushrooms in some of this, same thing as before, extra virgin organic olive oil. So I'll show you the finished component tonight. And then I could show you guys tonight, I'm cooking in this organic turmeric twist sweet blend. This has turmeric, cinnamon, Ceylon cinnamon, black pepper, ginger clove, and organic rice concentrate. It smells really good. It's like an Indian seasoning, but I like cooking with turmeric. This is really, really good on like a creamy. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. Or even like an oatmeal. But I got this at Whole Foods, and I like cooking in turmeric because it is an anti-inflammatory herb. So yeah, just wanted to throw that little tip out there for ya. You can take curcumin phytosome, that's a pill. That is an anti-inflammatory agent, but you can also cook in turmeric. Okay, hello everybody. So you are in my kitchen and we are going to assemble dinner. So on the base of my bowl is rice. Can you see it? That's the rice. And then I've got 3.5 ounces of cooked cod that I'm just going to bloop, bloop, bloop. Perfecto. Where's the lid for my pot? Oh, I found it. And then I like to add, please hold. I like to add some chunky guacamole. How obnoxious can I be with opening that? My goodness. And I just do a serving of that. And then we add some cottage cheese, because in this house, we live for cottage cheese, okay? Wait, is it 55 grams? Please hold. Glad I checked, it's only 35 grams. I love me. Cottage cheese. I seriously like. Love it. Then we add about 1 ounce of kimchi. This is the wild kimchi. The brand is Cleveland. This is one of my more favorite brands because I think it's just like more wholesome ingredients. I don't know, the other ones just have a lot of sugar in them, and this one isn't necessarily as sweet. It's more savory, but not spicy, quite delicious. And we all know that fermented foods are good for your gut. So kimchi it is. I love kimchi. I love sauerkraut. I never used to like kimchi, but when you find a good brand, it makes it a lot easier. So this is what we're looking like so far. And then I'm just gonna take my olive oil sauteed bell pepper onion mixture and throw that on top. And there you go. We have a burrito bowl. Delicious. Okay, wild caught fish, healthy fats, healthy omegas, easy to digest carbs so I can get up in the morning and work out. And that's dinner. All right, YouTube, murder me, because I'm making a creamy and I'm putting 1.5 Nutter Butters in it. I am the queen of no processed foods. And here we go, putting a processed food in there. This is like my one processed food of the day. And let me tell you, I savor it. I love me some Nutter Butters. You got to break them bad boys up though. You really do, because if you don't, then you wind up with a big old bite of a chunk of a Nutter Butter, which no one's complaining about that, but you know what I'm saying? You got to get it in there. I look forward to this stuff as soon as I get up in the morning. Now I've got Nutter Butter hands, but we're gonna blend this. You know when you hear that and it's like, it's almost done. Freaking love my creamy. I love it. And as always, wipe off the little screw. It's so freaking nasty, you guys. I don't wipe that off. Schmeg gets on there, okay? Schmeg. Now, look at that. Look at that. That's the Lord's work right there. That is exactly what that is. And I'm going to go indulge and enjoy and savor the Lord's work on my couch in peace and quiet. And then I'm going to leave my electronics in the kitchen and go to slumber. I'll talk to you guys when I talk to you. All right, YouTube. So I am home. I am now a little bit early. It's 9:30, drinking my coffee, but I wanted to wrap up this video with just another little tidbit on getting a cycle back. Now, one of the toughest parts about this and maintaining regular cycles really was knowing that I was eating more, and transactionally, right? Like as bodybuilders or even just as like strong women, when you get more food and you're eating into a surplus, it's really tempting to want to go into the gym and want to like throw your body into the, you know, the weight room and train super, super hard and train until failure. And that's really, I mean, I had the luxury and the honor, thank goodness, of having a breast augmentation, and so needing to kind of take it easy as I got back into the gym. But even now, I mean, my workouts don't take me longer than an hour max. I typically do about 6 exercises, 3 sets of each. I'm not really training like I need to add a ton of muscle. I'm more so training for fun, for the mental benefit of it, to partition nutrients, to shuttle nutrients into my muscle bellies, to get a good pump. It's almost like I'm training like I'm in a prep, if that makes sense. But I'm eating more, and your body will adapt, your body will adjust. I do suggest, like I said, going through this process with a coach and with someone that you really trust and that you know has your best interest, just because it is difficult. It's tough because you are going to put on a little bit of body fat, but there's no better feeling than having a regular cycle. I think it speaks volumes, like internally, just for us as females, about, you know, having that femininity. Like a lot of having a regular cycle makes us feel like we're female, because that's one of the things that differentiates us from men, right? As much as we hate it, it also really plays a role in your mental health. And when you have a regular cycle, you feel healthy. Even when you want to bite other people's heads off because you're PMSing, which also is not super normal. But that's a story for another day. So we've got a busy Friday ahead of us. I'm going to be filming a podcast this afternoon for the Psyche Behind the Physique on motivation with my dear friend Claudia Mays. So be sure to tune into that. I'll leave the link for the podcast below. If you're not already subscribed, head over to Spotify and subscribe to it, please. But I will be checking in with you guys. Hopefully I'll have a YouTube video posted next week. Jeff gets back on Sunday, so I don't know if I'm going to be busy. I also have a birthday party to go to Saturday, so it's just going to be a busy weekend for me. But I love posting these videos. I got some messages this past week from a few of you guys who was like, yeah, we know that last week's video was kind of all over the place, but we really appreciated it. And those really mean the world to me, because sometimes I don't know if I'm like posting things of value. I just kind of get on here and talk about what I feel called to talk about. And this week it was regaining a cycle. So hopefully this sheds light on some of y'all's situations. And, you know, if you're going through a reverse diet and just kind of struggling with staying the course and seeing your body change and doing all the things and following the protocols to get it back, I'm here to support and encourage you through that. Head over to my Instagram page and let me know what you're going through, and I would love to just encourage you. But without further ado, thank you so much for tuning in this week. I hope to see you guys soon. Be kind to yourselves and have a great weekend.